Here, you weakling pieces of crap. So
yeah,
this is not going well. Let's not pretend. Let's not bullshit. Dude, I don't know who's advising you, but you need to stop talking about this.
It's not, but people. So again, here's my bizarre perspective. This is not going well for the same reason the circuses didn't go well for Rome. The second the whims of the populace dictate governmental focus, that's what I'm seeing here. Epstein, which really has no bearing on anything on earth, doesn't have bearing on our economy potentially. Maybe it does. Maybe it'll ruin our economy. But if it doesn't, it has no bearing on anything. The mob is now controlling the narrative of what the White House needs to address. Terrifying.
Well, let me flip it.
Yeah.
If the Mossad have shit on our powerful leaders that gets Israel to do stuff for Israel, I have news for you. That has a bearing on a lot of things. If we're acting out because they are threatening to potentially, I don't know, blackmail some of our people, then 100%. That is an issue.
If that was true, though, wouldn't we have been in a real war by now? If the Mossad was blackmailing people for Israel's interest, we haven't increased our military money to them. We give them about $300 billion or something like that, which comes back to America because it has to be spent here. So it's really just a way to
people be spend it here.
It's just a way to supplement our military contractors.
Yeah.
What has this level of blackmail bought for the Mossad?
Well, it depends, because we can sit here and say nothing yet, but we don't know what has happened in the past. We are through thick and thin with them all the time, and it doesn't mean it's just us. So yeah, that would have an actual bearing on a lot of stuff. If we
didn't we do this always since like before Epstein? Weren't we in with Israel since the 6-Day War?
Yes, but not to the extent I think we are now. And to the point where, dude, we're seeing they've got websites where you can go look up people's posting history to see if you've insulted Israel or said, you know what, I don't think you should kill babies in Gaza. Throw them out. I mean, that's a scary thing, dude. And they're getting all over this. So yeah, I would have some issues with this. And Trump has not handled this well. And Pam Bondi needs to be fired.
I agree it's not being handled well. I guess my thing, how I look at it is, should the mob dictate presidential action when it has no bearing on the country? You have to prove bearing for me to think so. So if the Mossad is doing this, that's true. There are probably websites you can go. Guess what? If I say a derogatory term right now against a black person or against a gay person, there's going to be an outlaw against me getting kicked off. Is there now a Mossad of gay people, the Rainbow Mossad that is out there controlling things?
But the fact that they have websites where you can go check and see if a student at college has said something anti-Semitic or supported Palestine is uncomfortable. The fact that, especially here, considering you can look up even American students, dude, you don't get to control our government.
I agree 100%. But is that what you're saying, not a reaction to the fact that Jews weren't allowed on places on campus? These colleges went out of control. They literally had Jew-free zones. And you're right. Like I said, it's a rubber band always. It's
always a rubber band. But I'm just saying, to say that this doesn't have any bearing, then you know what? If this has no bearing, then you used a bullshit thing to push a narrative about some bizarre deep state that controls the world so you could help yourself get power. And for that, how can I trust you with any of the other shit you're going to say?
You just said a politician did what a politician does and lies about something in order to get elected. Is it truly a lie, or was it part of those campaign promises that all politicians do that don't necessarily pan out?
Well, then you're no different than anybody else. Why should I believe anything? Well, first of all, I don't believe anything anybody has to say anyways.
Well, this is why the border crisis is basically extinguished.
Yeah.
So he promised
But
something that was
let me ask you
really
a question. Let me
consequential.
ask you a question. Well, for you, I mean, illegal immigration, it's shitty. The border needed to be stopped. We need to figure out what's going to go on in here. But was it destroying your life or my life? No, not so much.
Really? Did you drive down LA freeways?
Yes, I've been down LA freeways. I'll
Yeah,
drive
they
down here.
destroyed everything.
We've got it here. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, we've got it here, and we got potholes. It ain't the freaking Mexican guy's fault. Because
No, the point is now we have less congestion on our freeways. We're gonna remember when they released this, we have a housing crisis. If I went to get a one-bedroom right now,
crisis. You have a building crisis.
the average one-bedroom apartment's about $3,000 to $4,000 a month.
Is freaking insane, dude.
Which is insane. Now you get the illegals out. You're creating additional apartments, additional homes. You're creating rented homes. You're literally making our everyday lives better.
Well, we'll see, because you know what? I've heard that before, and that doesn't happen, and that's bullshit. Because I can go look and say, the problem with California is you guys got a building problem, and you just lost how much through Malibu and parts of Los Angeles that is never going to be rebuilt.
Well, that never helped anything. Those were like $5 to $10 million homes.
There was a lot of apartments. There was a lot of small homes that were there for a long time. People were house rich, but they were cash poor.
They were cash poor. I know house rich people. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, so let's be real. A lot of this stuff doesn't affect the average person, but you promised a lot of things and you made it a basis of something big where you pushed it and you had your people push stuff. Your son pushed it. And then to say there's nothing, and not only that, it's a hoax. See, it's one thing to go, look, there's not a lot here. It's overblown. It's another thing to look at everybody and go, none of it's real. It's fucking hoax. You guys are lying to yourself. So get over yourself. And if you support it or think about it, you're a weakling. That's not a good thing.
Which is horrible. But it is how Trump talks, which is horrible, by the way. I never agree. I always thought Trump was way too blunt, but and he talks, in a way that a construction worker would talk. And that's not necessarily what you want a president to talk. But at the end of the day, he's calling it a hoax. The media, again, I go back. If I said Pizzagate, there was the newscaster that had a whole segment on Pizzagate. The next day he was off the air. He wasn't allowed to talk about some things. We look at that power, which is a credible amount of power, because who were the people behind that?
Same people probably behind this.
Probably the same people.
And I thought you were going to be different. I thought you had balls, and it feels like, no, balls got neutered. And part of the reason I feel like his balls got neutered is because there may be more there. At first I thought there's no there, but the way he's acting, dude, if this was anybody else, and it's funny, I saw somebody say this today, Alex Jones and all these people going and trying to protect Trump. If this was any other run-of-the-mill Republican politician, they would fucking eviscerate him.
Well, agrees. And if it was any other run-of-the-mill Republican politician, I might think there was something they were hiding. But $30 million later, the FBI, everybody, every Democrat and every news agency on the planet for the last decade looking for dirt on Trump, and this dirt was there, and no one leaked it, and he was somehow tied up with Epstein. I can't believe. That's a hard bridge for me to cross.
Well, the difference is who is in power, because if there's stuff in there that also hurts the Democrats, that's never going to come out because they all protect each other.
Selectively leaked on Trump.
Nah, I don't know if they would selectively leak Trump, because I think the thing is you're also going to have people inside of these places that would also be there for Trump and come out. So I think it would be tough to do that.
They changed laws so they could convict him of a civil trial on a supposed rape. They changed laws so they convict him of 38 felonies for signing something that was never been a felony before.
No, there was no good. I mean, that was the most ridiculous thing, and that's why.
And so I believe they're willing to change laws. They're willing to do all this stuff. They're willing to literally go through all these things. They're willing
to also protect themselves.
Not to they tried to assassinate the dude. I have to believe all this stuff happens, but he's on a list and they wouldn't have somehow leaked it to their cronies in the press.
No, I don't know if they would. If they thought that there was more there on their own, because you got to remember, you still got that lady alive for now.
She's not long for this world.
Oh, God, no. And I tell everybody, remember who was president when he died?
100%. It's an interesting thing that this very non-national issue is become a presidential issue.
You insult the intelligence of people and you make it personal. It's not. Look,
Trump makes everything personal. He's wrong on that.
Look, here's the thing, though. You've made it personal now to a group of people that I'll be honest, dude. There's a lot of people that are pissed about this because they feel like you're gaslighting them, and you insulted them today, and you're questioning the whether or not they have the capability to be strong to stand by you. You can sit there and spin it however you want, but perfect examples. The kid and all his friends today told me, "Fuck him." That's the way he feels. I don't need that shit. Don't gaslight me. Don't tell me I'm a liar. Don't tell me I'm a weakling because you promised me, and your cronies are running around talking about stuff, and then you're insulting
And
us.
it's terrifying. We would have been in basically a communist nation right now if Kamala won. We would have had the borders open. There are probably 40 million illegals over the border by now. Right now, our economy's doing good. We're not in any wars. We would have 100% been in war.
You
Like,
know, he's
boots on the
bombed
ground
more
war.
people in the first 5 months than Biden did in his entire time.
He's deported.
Bombed.
Yeah, but we're not. There's no boots on the ground.
Still don't want to bomb at people. Why the fuck are you bombing people?
To end war. Why did we bomb Hiroshima? Why did we bomb Dresden? Why did we bomb, the idea that force is the same as war is, I think again, as a problem. I mean, conceptually, the use of force to the largest military power on earth that's exercised force to prove a point to keep us out of wars. I will never.
We could just go around just freaking torching anybody we want all the time just for the hell of it to make sure that they pay attention. And we also have our
I'm
vassal states
not going to
set up,
argue with that.
Yeah, I know you are. You're like, fucking, I don't care. I'm gonna fucking kill everybody. That's all I know. That's why you are who you are.
What if America has a stick, and in some cases needs, if the crazy people in Africa that literally went into church about a month ago, cut off the heads of about 100 people worshiping at the church, women and children,
Yeah.
and we wanted to bomb them, I would have no. You said go bomb them. I don't care. Bomb them. I don't care. Why, America? Why aren't we doing anything? They're literally slaughtering people left and right in Africa right now.
But why does that have to be our problem?
You know what?
Does
It
that have
doesn't.
any effect on you?
That you know what? Honestly, it doesn't have an effect on me because I don't live in Africa. Thank God I don't live, and these people aren't cutting people I know's heads off. But if we have the power, and all it takes is a few bombs to stop it, and what are they going to shoot down? Anything? They're not going to shoot down a fighter jet.
They're not going to shoot down. But why? Once again, it goes back to why are we getting involved in shit we don't need to get involved with? We don't.
But is that isolationist level too far? In other words, if we can, with a little bit of military might, make the world nudged in better directions, is that not okay? Not directly involved, not boots on the ground involved.
Well, here's the thing, though, Paul. You talk about that, but everywhere that you talk about, we've got boots on the ground. We may not have them in a conflict, but we got them within reach.
Well, because we have
boots in the ground everywhere.
Everywhere. We have literally occupied the world. America is Rome. It's Pax Romana, Pax Americana.
It is.
We have military bases all across the globe.
I mean, bin Laden, as awful as he was, he told when one of his biggest beef was the West came to the aid of Kuwait, and he thought the Muslims and Saudis, and the Saudis decided, hey, we're going to let Americans take off from here. And he said, you let them here. They're never going to leave. And then he became enemy number one of Saudi Arabia because we don't. The minute we come in somewhere, it's just, know that we're never leaving.
And look at Putin's a bad man, but his point exactly the same thing is he said, if right now America has bases all across his border, what if he had bases all in the Mexican border, in the Canadian border, were Russian military bases? How would we feel? It's true. We have bases at Russia's border. We have bases. Nobody has bases anywhere close to us.
No.
America's military might is just unmatched, and it's just
for the amount of money. That's why you guys can't get health care.
It's absolutely incredible.
Know this: we can kill anything that moves all the time, wherever we want. Don't ask us for an aspirin.
Ever.
Shit ain't getting it.
But we'll give you a bomb.
We'll give you a bomb.
And then this is my larger thing is, why should America use its might, whether it's economic or military, if it's targeted might, to make and nudge the world in directions that make the world better.
Because you and I both know this. It sounds altruistic. The reality is we ain't getting off the fucking mat and our nap in our hammock unless there's something under the ground that can benefit us tremendously.
It's why we don't help Africa.
That's why.
It's my biggest thing. Because honestly, when I see slaughters like that, I'm like, bomb those people. I don't care. Throw a helicopter there and shoot them up. They don't have anything.
Like, you guys have really no oil? Fuck, that sucks for you guys. You guys should got oil. You should import it, put it on the ground, tell us it's there, and we'll come over and fix it.
That's what we tell. I like, go hide precious, metals. Do something so we can think there's a reason. Because America only seems to get involved in battles that is for America's self-interest, and I'm not against that.
No, I'm not against that either.
I have no problem if Trump was to say, you know what? They're slaughtering people in Africa, and I know I can drop 20 bombs over there and get these people to a table. Do it. I would have no problem with it. Do it.
But we don't.
We don't do it. I know we don't do it.
No reason for us. America first means dollar bills first. Let's be real. Well, America's interest cash-wise first means, and which is totally understand, because if we don't have the means to do all the things, then we can't do the things that we do. And I get that. But Africa, you guys should have got oil. Some serious amount of oil. Your shit would have been totally different.
What I would be, what we should do is send envoys over there, tell them to just dig like mad.
Find something. I don't know. Here's something. Go find something that could change the world. You better figure out how to grow nuclear shit. I don't know what it is, but if you want to,
what you can do, just dig nonstop.
Yeah, I mean,
find a reason for America to give you freedom.
Oil. In the small places, they've got oil. Oh, and there's some big places, but it's not enough for us, and everywhere else falls apart in 5 seconds. And but there's no interest there, and we got it. And if it's not interest, we're not interested.
And my fear is things like Epstein become manipulated to become an outrage, because the party that would send us down into real tragedy wants control again. If the Democrats were in charge, we would have boots on the ground. We would have boots on the ground in Ukraine. We would have.
I don't know if we'd have boots on Ukraine.
Nothing Trump can do for Epstein.
Could I see an expansion with Iran? I could have seen an expansion with Iran.
100%. There's nothing Trump can do on Epstein's case that would say, yeah, I want to vote for a Democrat now. Nothing. Trump could come out and say, you're all idiots. Epstein was my best friend.
I would like to say, if he was caught actually diddling kids,
well, that's different.
Say, Paul's like,
well,
I don't know
that's
different at that point. No.
But if he's like, Epstein was an upstanding guy, it was all a hoax, you guys are idiots, and now let's go back to the things that matter for America and the world. I don't agree with him, by the way. I don't agree with Trump. I think that Epstein was a piece of crap, and I believe they're covering things up.
Horrible human being, and I do have some questions that I think are fair to ask. And
they're 100% covering things
not a big deal. You made it a big deal, because I always thought, we're never going to find out the real story.
I thought
what started getting weird is when you start coming out going, this is all the Democrats. What is the hoax? All the stuff in there's a hoax. What? There's nothing there. You just told me there was nothing. Well, no, but if there was, it was. You're not making it easy on yourself. And then coming out and insulting people to support you is also not. Don't come over and kick somebody in the balls and tell them they're idiots and then wonder why they don't support you. You told everybody you were going to do this. The people that you put in place, the powers that be, Kash Patel, I'm going to close freaking the Hoover building in 5 minutes. That shit ain't closed. Freaking, Dan Bongino pushing it for years on his radio show and podcast. Freaking Bondi out there going, I got 5 million things to look at. This is part 1. That's a hot mess for you guys. Fire all of them.
It's the problem that Trump's always have is this overstatement of things. If the deep state exists, if that's true, which I believe it is, it's not that easy. You don't just shut down the FBI if the FBI is controlled by this giant nefarious organization that lives in the shadows. You don't just go in and shut it down because you think you're high and mighty. If it's true that the government has puppet masters behind the people like the presidents even and the senators and the people that run, intelligence agencies, then they can't just run in and do that kind of stuff. That would make sense. Oh, there is a real, shadow organization out here that seems to be pulling strings. And yeah, you guys can't just go. If they could, then there probably wasn't a shadow government. If they could just as easily just switch things off, you're like, you just switched something off when you told me it was an all-powerful government behind it? That wouldn't have made as much sense.
I think they were full of shit. And I think they were told you can't release some of this stuff. I think they're powerful donors. Who knows? I mean, depending on who you listen to, everybody's got their, marching orders. Don't ever bring this up. I mean, no, but luckily that's why I don't interview politicians, because I don't give a shit. I want to be able to criticize you if you've done something wrong. And if you've done something right, I want to be able to praise you without the worry of friggin', oh, that's good. You screwed up on this one, and you're making it worse every day by coming out and throwing.
I don't disagree, but the only thing I bring up is the fact that it's terrifying that with all the good things that are moving forward in America, that this has become the linchpin.
No, I don't think this. By the way, the average person, well, not phrase it. Most people are looking at this kind of like, it is the MAGA people. And not even the Republicans, but the
I agree,
MAGA
100%. But for the MAGA people, that's bizarre to me.
Become a pissing match because he insulted them. He insulted their intelligence, and they believe. Here's the problem: you believe what he said, but then you also, you also believe a lot of the other conspiracy stuff that he threw out there, and you can't promise the world, bring people to the White House, hand them folders, tell them all this shit's going down. I would like to think that we aren't involved in this, but let me tell you something. If we, as a nation, whether it's the CIA, other powers that be, and our allies, were involved in some horrible shit and this burns it down, fucking burn it down. I don't want to be known that Uncle Sam is pimping out 15-year-olds.
Well, we all know that's probably what happened. Honestly, we all know that. I mean, trust me, it's not a hoax. It's really, I don't believe that. I believe a lot of
it's a hoax. He killed himself on a hoax, and she's in jail for 20 years on a hoax. That's a fucking shitty joke.
But Mossad maybe was involved, but I honestly think CIA was involved.
Oh, 100%.
And I think that people want to think that once you're in the CIA, that once you're in that, you're never out of it.
Yeah, you're never out of it.
That is a group of people that all they do is keep secrets.
Yeah.
And they're spies. The idea that a talk show host or a Kash Patel or any of these people just run in and just destroy everything a network of spies over a couple generations have created, that's not believable.
Well,
if it really is there.
The CIA is great at destroying stuff. The FBI is they like to keep records.
And that's true. And also, what if there isn't anything there? Not because there wasn't, because oh yeah, I thought it was all erased, but nobody told anybody. What if there really is no documents anymore? No one even brings that up. But what if?
Well, there is documents because there was a FOIA thing, and there was a large amount of documents still left, and a large amount of pictures. Now, if they're all gone now, then that's
what if they're all gone now?
That's it. If they're all gone now, you've now made it 1,000 times worse for the administration, because then you've said, "Oh, everything disappeared." Nobody's going to buy that bullshit, right? No. You're not. No. And so,
but what if the CIA goes, "Oh, look it, we got to clean it up."
Well, it was with the FBI, so that's
or two janitors came in. All of a sudden, it's all missing.
Two janitors came in, and they just cleaned everything out. They went right
everything out. They don't know. It was Juan and Gomez came in,
right to the racism, dude.
Well, I said janitors, so what do you think? Came in. It's all gone. They now have vacation homes.
Yeah, they've disappeared.
And it doesn't even have to be the same. What if it's just rich people said, let's figure out who we can pay off to get rid of all this. My point is, when you look at a conspiracy, and I do believe a conspiracy existed around Epstein, there's multiple ways this could have went down that clears the names of the powerful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not there. What I'm saying, though, is Trump got involved in a way now where he brought himself into suspicion by blaming it on the Democrats. Nobody even asked about it. The whole thing is people just wanted names. I don't think anybody really thought, but the more that I've seen people say, first I didn't think there was any there. Maybe there is some there. I don't know why you're talking about and blaming Democrats for stuff. You blame Obama. I mean, you're going back to Woodrow Wilson. I mean, it's like, dude, nobody even brought that up. You came out of nowhere and started saying these things.
I do think that so the benefit for all this is don't hear about the immigration problems anymore. Don't hear about and he's funded the ICE to. We now have ICE has a larger budget than all of Russia's military. You don't hear, all you hear is Epstein. I don't hear about. I don't see the ICE riots. I don't. He's bringing in people, arresting them left and right. He's raiding people, and you don't hear about it in the news like you did. That's a benefit because that actually helps our country move forward. They just passed the Doge 9 billion cuts passed, and no one cares, which is good because
Well, it's not that nobody cares. The reality is it's $9 billion. That's, you just took a Dixie cup to the ocean. Because they also spent an extra $550 million to fund a lot of stuff and tax cuts. So nobody really cares about that.
maybe nobody cares, but 9 billion is still a nice chunk of change to be cut from PBS and some of these places, which were nothing but left wing, pedestals.
Yeah, they were
of propaganda.
You know what? Being in the radio industry, I've never understood. Like, we always had to go up against them, and they're not commercial. So why do we have to go up against a non-commercial group of people? It was odd. I never understood that, and I don't watch PBS because I've got the internet. It is boring. Although, didn't it give you freaking Downton Abbey? Is that where it came from?
Masterpiece Theater was co-sponsored by the BBC and PBS, and Downton Abbey is one of the greatest series ever made.
And now it's gone forever, and you're never going to see it again.
One last movie is coming out, and I think it's next month, and that's the end of the era of Downton Abbey.
But you would never have had that now. PBS isn't going to go anywhere. Most of their funding come where I can look and see where, like out here where I live in some of these rural areas where they only really have PBS as or NPR as radio. I can, like, I understand that, but the rest of it, I haven't watched it forever. The last thing I remember was Upstairs, Downstairs, and them always asking me and everybody for money, and they're going to send you a plate.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? No, I do get it. If PBS, which is public broadcasting, just was basically it had a Rachel Maddow and a Rush Limbaugh.
Didn't it used to have Wally George?
A long time ago. And that was on, I think, locally. That Wally George was the best. That guy was over the top.
Have you guys had
that was balanced?
He was just crazy though. His daughter was hot, Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah. He was absolutely insane. But fun. He was the original Alex Jones.
Yeah, he was. He was part Alex Jones and part Maury Povich.
And like I said, you can't
nobody politics out, and then he would yell out somebody got pregnant.
Yeah. You can't watch Alex Jones and not be entertained.
Oh, he's really upset, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's crazy. He was crying. He was
crying. I'm gonna go through it. I can't even believe it. I was like, oh, you know what? I was watching my buddies on Breaking Points, and I thought, wow, I think they're like, I feel for him because I feel like he is going to get sick. I feel like he is going to throw up. I feel like he is having an issue.
But that again, it boggles my mind. Again, at the end of the day, the fact that Trump lied, we can call it a lie, on something of little significance to my life. I hate to admit it, but all these rich men, if they were to go down, doesn't change anything in my world.
No.
Would I like to see them go down? Yes. But
if they control enough stuff to do enough things, then yeah, I mean, would I like to see them go down? Of course. Again, anybody who's done something wrong to that extent, yes. I'm not talking about, you got a prostitute from a 24-year-old prostitute. I'm not talking about that. We know what we're talking about. The horrible things that were alleged and some of the stuff done that we know was done.
I don't necessarily believe P. Diddy really didn't do anything bad on a larger scale.
I don't know. I know that he's going to be sentenced. I have no idea if there is more. Because, like, remember Weinstein got tried in both Los Angeles. Like, is there going to be state charges like Los Angeles, New York? I mean, the RICO thing was a freaking. What are you talking about?
But he had all. But remember, he did take a flight to a country we had non-extradition. He took a plane full of something, full of boxes, full of something to that right before this went down. Diddy did this. There was the rumors that Diddy, even he said rumors about being tied in with somehow with the CIA or intelligence agencies. And now we find out all he did was pay for a bunch of 25-year-old hookers.
Yeah. To go.
I don't know. To me, that just sounds fishy too.
It's the Mann. It used to be about white woman slavery, the Mann Act, like way back in the day. Now it's just taking hookers across state line for hooker stuff.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to condone it, but I'm like,
he would never have been charged with that had they not tried the RICO case. They would never have charged him with that.
Because to me, that's a lot to go through for that.
Yeah,
give him his fines and even a little bit of time in jail. But you gave me a story, which of course nobody lies but Trump. So everybody else didn't give me a story that was a lie. They just gave me the story that wasn't true. But I had this story about Diddy about all this stuff, and then it all unravels. There's nothing there. He never really did anything. He just hired some
was
prostitutes.
there. The problem was, and they overpromised, and they the whole RICO, right? He wasn't a gang. It wasn't an organized crime. And who's he conspiring with? It's just him on trial. It's not normally when you watch a RICO in the old days, they've got like 40 guys on trial at once. There was nobody but him.
As far as we know, as far as whatever came out.
I don't know what other cases may come because there could be state charges. You know, again, you go back to Weinstein, they go flying back and forth. The charges asked for all kinds of stuff, but no, I never.
The original prosecuting a prosecutor, and I think it was in Florida against Epstein, the original, like a decade ago. He said that he was told that Epstein was
he's untouchable,
intelligence asset.
Yeah, he's an asset. We can't do anything with him. Yeah. Now, whose asset he was, we don't know. I would find it hard to believe that he was just the Mossad's.
I find that hard to believe. And I think that the Mossad is an easy one with a name like Epstein. You're not going to say he was.
Her dad was, you know, the
MI6.
Yeah, her dad was Mossad and all that, or whatever. Ghislaine was all that stuff. But I find it odd. But look, the Epstein thing, for me, first of all, nobody talks about the victims, which is bullshit. I mean, everybody's like, why aren't they speaking up? I'm like, first of all, don't victim shame. Think about how many years it took young boys who usually come from good homes, who went to Catholic church and were raped by priests, and it took them forever for them to have the courage to come forward, let alone a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old runaway with no family whatsoever being, basically used by old, sweaty, gnarly men of power. And you're wondering why they don't come forward? Yeah, okay.
That should be kept quiet. I'm all for you never release those names unless they want to.
No, you don't release the names, but now that they're all in their 30s and 40s, people
still,
are like,
if they don't want to relive that kind of stuff, we don't need to force them through that.
Plus, you don't want to tell everybody where you're at.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Wherever they scattered you, let them stay.
Right? It was like $130 million, $131 million worth of payouts to some people.
Yep.
Why? Why are you paying people out for the hoax? That's a freaking
But
great.
I'm all for that. I'm support that. These people went through hell. Let them just live their lives. We don't need to just leave them alone.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Trump's handling this horribly. His administration's handling this horribly. But in my estimation, it's not as big a deal as it's being played up as. Yes, they're handling it horribly. It's just not that big a deal.
Well, it's not for you. It's not a big deal. I think for a lot of other people, it's a bigger deal. Not just it all depends if there was really some stuff that's horrible from more than just powerful people, then it would be a much different story. But it also he's done this to the point where he lives on drama. He loves drama. He loves to do what Trump loves to do. And you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And this is the first time since he came down that escalator that I can remember where the base is not the base, the MAGA base, the people that normally he could come in and freaking punch their wife in the face and they'd still cheer him on. That's not very nice. It's being honest though. Unless you can shoot the dog. This is the first time that the MAGA base is like, yeah, I'm not happy about this.
Because it wasn't a cult.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a cult. Like it never was. And again, it's to me, it points to another data point where the media always lies. And
let me tell you something. On my show today, I got a lot of cult people telling me what a POS, they're never going to listen to me. I got a lot of that stuff, but there was a lot of other independent minded people out there. It's a younger generation too. It's also very much if you're 60, you're more worried about, is your money going to last? If you're 27, and you watch podcasts for the last 5 years and you've heard all this stuff and you're getting insulted, well, you're much more, it's a different.
Well, you know why? It's the French Revolution. It's whether it's on the liberal side or on the conservative side, the idea of bringing down the powerful has become part of the larger cultural mindset.
Yeah. That
we've been lied to nonstop by the powers that be, that the powers that be need to be stopped. And Epstein was one of the levers that I saw as a way to potentially stop those out of control, shadowy people.
Yeah. Well, we want to know that there's some sort of, at the end of the day, that there is a check, a balance of some sort where if things were to go gnarly and there really is that deep state, crazy, push a button kind of person, that there is somebody back there that'll say, no, we want to know that. We want to have that sense of like a Superman character that will come in and save the day, even though he'll let the rest of it play out and he won't get involved. But if it got to that point, we want to know that.
And I think that if it is so entrenched in just world governance, it takes generations to probably get that out, unless you have guillotine set up in the streets.
Yeah,
I'm not for it, by the way. I'm just saying, unless you have a French Revolution where it's literally bringing people out and executing them and putting new people that are just as bad in place, but you think they're good. That's the only way it would change if you want it like dramatic change. And we have no way to look at a time frame. We have no way of looking at a long game. We're a very short game. No matter what Trump did in his first 6 months, the fact that he didn't release, we hate him. Well, whatever, get a life, people. All these other things that Trump's done, which I have 100% net positive in my book, but this one thing is I hate him now. That's kind of pathetic.
Well, I mean, that's you though. But it is me. Yeah. You support Trump. There's a lot of people out there that support a lot of what he does.
I don't support Trump. I most support a betterment of America.
Well, I support the truth. If the truth is powerful people did bad things and Trump's covering that up, you're a piece. You're a POS. You need to be.
We know powerful people have done horrible things.
Exactly. And the whole thing is us allowing powerful people to continue to do things that they want to do, and nobody really trying to check them, whether it be freaking the last administration, whether it be Trump before that, and some of the players of the game, whether it be people. I mean, they're all of these across the globe. We should want to be able to say, I thought you were going to be different. And you feel a little bit like the same, which is you're covering potentially for people that maybe are great donors and friends of yours, or who knows why.
Isn't that not seeing the forest through the trees? He's very different. Like I said, between the border, we're not currently in any wars. He's trying to end wars. Our economy is doing good. You go down the list, he is very different. If I'm going to turn Trump into a single issue president, then you're 100% right. This is horrible. If I'm going to turn the presidency into a series of actions that make the country a better place, Trump is batting 1,000.
Oh, he's doing well. I mean, again, I like some of the stuff he's done. Some of the stuff some of it is, we won't know what it looks like for God knows how long, because it takes months and years.
It's true. Yeah. But all in all, like, I think the tariffs have everybody lied to us about how horrible the tariffs are going to be on America. They haven't been.
Well, dude, tell me what tariffs in effect.
They've been in effect?
Yeah. Nobody knows. If you ask them today, they'd be like, I don't know.
Tell me what country we're not in negotiations with because of the tariff threat. We're negotiating with everybody.
We've got 2 deals and that's it. We got a shitty deal with Vietnam, but we got a shitty deal with Vietnam, which was not good. That was not
an amazing deal with the UK, which is a much bigger trading partner.
But we didn't get a deal. I don't think it's signed. I think we got a deal in place, but I don't think it's signed. I think we had like 1.5 deals done.
I think the UK was signed. I could be wrong, but we're negotiating with pretty much everybody. China down the road. China's already lowered tariffs. Now we're going back and forth with this, but the point is we are on a footing of renegotiating core trade deals because Trump's a loudmouth. He is. That's yelling 100% tariffs and stuff. Everybody that was literate, that read his books, knows how Trump did things and said, this is a negotiation tactic, and it looks like that's what it was.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The thing is the beauty of it, of the fact that everybody knows that, is nobody believes the word he says. We're going to put 100% tariff.
Made a tariff surplus of like 900 million or something like that? It's the first time we had a surplus in the Treasury?
Yeah, it's for a while. Yeah.
And it was because of the tariffs?
Yeah, let me see here. I think last month we had it. I don't know what the tariff was last month. I know we had a surplus. And a lot of that too also is the thing is I think Trump is also making sure the dollar stays weak.
It was 27 billion budget surplus, the first time in 8 years, primarily driven by the tariff revenues.
Yeah.
So we have tariffs on somebody. I was told it was going to ruin our economy.
Oh, yeah. But you were told by wackadoos. Some people said it was going to be great. Again, I don't know what it looks like. What's it look like when it goes into full effect? That we don't know. If you put all the tariffs on that you said you were going to put on, what does that look like?
We don't know because
really
I don't think he ever intended to do all those. I think he's doing what he intended.
Sits there. That's why when you look at the stock market and he's like, I'm going to put a million % tariffs. Everybody's like, whatever. Because we know you're not going to do it.
We know you're not going to do it. We know you're negotiating.
End it next month.
Yeah. And right now we have a surplus. So when I look at that, I'm like, I was lied to by the media telling me something that never happened. Am I being lied to again by the media? For most, we're supposed to be in World War III. If Trump dares to drop a bomb in Iran, it's going to be World War III. No, it's not.
I think people, if we had boots on the ground.
No, they said bombs. Even the right, the Dave Smiths and those people. It's going to be World War III. We need to impeach Trump because he's starting a world war. No, he didn't. So I have a hard time believing the hysteria, and we are a hysteria society. We are at the end stages of Rome, where it's circus, free bread, because the populace have become a mob. And as Kafka said, it's easier to control a mob than an individual because a mob has a singular purpose. That was a Kafka reference. But
you also have to think too, Paul, Trump loves that. Trump loves the circus-like atmosphere. He lives in quiet hurts him.
I'm saying this is bad for our society.
Yeah, but but he also enjoys it. He courts it. The hatred, by the way, here's something. Trump lives for the media. He loves the media. He loves CNN. He loves every bit of them. He knows them all by heart. He lives for them because they give him life and he gives them life. It's like freaking, they are a team.
Trump loves. Are you ready for this?
We got 37% on Botswana.
On what?
Oh, no, we didn't do that. I'm looking at these are all the tariffs we have. I'm looking 30. Well, it said 49% tariffs paused. So there's none of that. That was for Cambodia. 25% tariffs. They're in effect for Canada, outside of oil. 145% tariffs reduced to 30% tariffs reduced to pause. 50% on something that's ad valorem tariff. That is supposed to start August 1st on Brazil. Same thing with Botswana and Bosnia Herzegovina. Same thing. So these are the ones that are supposed to be there, but we've paused them for now.
Trade duties are now 5% of federal income. And I'm not sure what. And it shows, this is from Yahoo Finance, so it's definitely not right wing. That shows that government tariff revenue literally it does that hockey stick skyrocket.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look, we're gonna if we're hitting people with tariffs, let's go for it.
It didn't ruin the economy. When I go to Target, nothing's like crazy. I'm not paying like $50 for.
Part of the reason the smart thing is because China shipped all their stuff to Vietnam, so we buy all our shit now from Vietnam, but it's really made in China.
Well, that's why he was trying. That's why he's tariffing penguins. No, he's not. He's tariffing what was traditionally ways to get around tariffs.
Yeah, so that's a beautiful. And we didn't tariff any penguins, although that would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome, by the way.
He just looked at the map and said, "Fuck, we're tariffing everybody." What about these people? Fucking puffins? Yeah, tariff the shit out.
Also, because that's what they did. They'd sell it to Vietnam, for example. Vietnam would sell it to us at a lower rate. That's how they got around tariffs. Some of these islands, which really nobody lives on, but like penguins or something, but like one dude, they would sell it to that one dude. Hey, do you want $5 billion worth of products? I do. And then he'd sell it back to America without a tariff. There was a name for it. It was kind of like a NordVPN. It was like a VPN for trade.
Yeah. No, it's the same thing that Russia does with their oil and everything. They go get it from the reason that none of these things hurt Russia, except at first, was they found a way around the tariffs. That's why if you want to get serious, you've got to go and tariff them.
What I like about what Trump threatened is 100% tariff on any of the trade partners with Russia.
Let's see here.
I like that. I'm like, yes, stop Russia from invading in a sensible way, not just giving them more of our military. Hurt them economically.
That's what you have to.
Because you and I both, I show you those videos from Russian people going to the supermarket. Russia is not hurting at all. Maybe it costs them an extra $1 for a Coke, but their supermarkets look like ours. They're full of food. Nobody's starving. Buying, Skippy peanut butter and Coca-Cola costs a little bit more now, but it's still on the shelves.
Yeah. Well, that's because it was kind of we're coming after you, but we're not serious because we need to go after these other people.
And
So,
so it's like, how are you hurting a country when the people are kind of like, yeah, we're still basically living like we always were.
same thing with like inflation. Everybody's like, when will inflation hit? I go, well, you'll feel it. That's when you hit. When you go to the store and you go to purchase something and you're like, holy mother of God. Well, then that's when you know that inflation or something has impacted you.
Inflation was down. The inflation numbers were great.
Until then, it doesn't matter. None of it matters until you feel it. Like the reason that gas always has an impact is because you drive by a gas station every day and you see the prices. That has a major impact in your mind. You're like, holy shit, it's $6 for gas or wherever it is. Like my God.
Oh, it's incredible. And the average person, if you raise gas to like $6, and let's say they're spending an extra, even $50 to $100 a month, that's a chunk out of their disposable income.
Yeah, if it costs you an extra $2,500 a year to gas up your car, you feel that. Especially if
the average person feels that. Yeah.
So,
and it's
that's where you feel it. Now, you're not gonna, like the whole egg thing. It became about eggs. Like Trump's like Biden, the eggs price. It was a freaking bird flu.
Yeah,
it wasn't like that. That's what it was. It wasn't something where it's like, oh my God, the cost to import chickens is out of control. It wasn't anything like that. It was a bird flu. We had to kill a bunch of birds. And then everybody suddenly wanted eggs because that's what we do. You tell everybody you can't have some and they all go out and buy fucking something.
That's my point of the mob mentality. That's this point about this fake manufactured outrages. What you just explained is how our world works now, and I think it's horrible. The eggs was because of a bird flu. It's a fake outrage. When is our society going to wake up and realize we need to look at the actual substance of things and not just run to
you need to look at the action. What do the actions say?
What's the substance of this? Is there a reason why our eggs are up, and is it going to come down in the next 6 months or something like that? If the answer is yes, what are we doing? Do I need to buy 20 piles of toilet paper?
Yeah, the toilet paper. People never thought they were going to stop shitting for COVID.
Apparently, everybody's going to have outbreak of diarrhea all at once.
So wait a minute. It's a lung infection, right? It's like one of these things, and it's an upper respiratory infection, but everybody's got the runs. Nobody's got the runs, but we're just worried we're going to get the runs.
But everybody, you realize once one person saw a pile of toilet paper, I guess I got to get toilet paper. And then it became a run on toilet paper.
Well, better have and not need than need not have.
Well, guess what? If the majority of the people are like, that guy's a weirdo, let him do his toilet paper, we're going to not live bizarrely, then you just know that everybody else isn't doing that. And you just see one bizarre guy with a pile of toilet paper.
Well, you start thinking, does he know something we don't know? Is
Well,
there
maybe
toilet paper that I don't know about?
Exactly. Am I going to have to wash my butt some other way?
Is there still?
We just go to America.
Would this be easier? Get a bidet?
Exactly. America really prizes rear end cleanliness.
That's right. We got commercials with those little bears all the time talking about how to clean their asses.
We do.
So no, look, this is a big story because of the way that and for Trump, because Trump, he leans into it. I'm not talking about it. Then he fucking goes right out and talks about it.
Trump is always does a dumb thing. If the media says, Trump, you've got a dumb nose, he's going to attack him.
Yeah. Well, and the other side of it is they built an empire somewhat on their conspiracy theories, and then they insulted the people. And that's a tough thing for people to get over. You know what? I expect politicians to bullshit and lie to me. Okay. Like Trump's the king of bullshit. It's like, it's the greatest crowd ever. Really? It's not even close, dude. It's like, I don't know if you know what crowds are, but that's not how they work.
In the history of mankind, this was the greatest crowd ever.
That's it. It's 18 million people. That. We had 700 million people show up. My thing. It's like, we don't even have 700 million people in the country. You don't even know. People in space, they saw it.
Exactly. Aliens came to increase the numbers.
So I'm used to that. The way that he's handled it, the way that they've handled it, and also the quietness of it all is by the powers that be that we're supposed to be handling it has not helped him, because you've heard nothing. You've heard nothing from JD Vance, not a word.
He did. He said to release him. He tweeted or whatever, or X'd or whatever.
Well, yeah, but that's because remember when he was on Theo Vaughn, he's like, release the files, right? And but Trump, everybody said, oh, Trump wanted him released. Go look at his interview with I think Campos, who is I think she's on Fox. She was on The Real World. Duffy Campos. When she said, "Are you going to release JFK?" Still don't have him all the way. Are you going to release MLK? Absolutely. Are you going to release RFK? 100%. Are you going to release Epstein? Well, we'll take a look at it.
And what is the common denominator there? That's believed that our government's behind every single one of those things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The UFOs. You're going to release UFO data.
Yeah. I think, dude, the minute, if we found out that he had been, even if you've been to the island and he was with a 21-year-old hooker, I could, even if it was horrible, but it wasn't criminal in that sense. And what I could guarantee the minute that shit comes out, he's going to come to the stage with a fucking little green guy.
100%. Well, this is my problem. I think Durowitz.
You guys are thinking about that thing, are you, huh? Right? The green guy now. You think about the green guy.
And the green guy likes 20-year-olds. But really, Durowitz said that some of it would be implications that technically weren't illegal. So if I went to the island and I had sex with 25-year-olds and they were all paid prostitutes, it's illegal. You know what I mean? I mean, well, but it's not like,
it's not the salacious kid touching, which is awful. It's not that. It's the other stuff. And some of it is, you flew to Cleveland with him. Okay. And you had a meeting. I don't know what that means. I mean, so some of it's not illegal, but their issue is they have a bigger problem in their administration and they're making it bigger than it should be. And does it have bearing on? No, because you and I talked about it. The auto pen is far worse than this.
It is.
But the difference is the people that already believe the auto pen is bad, they've bought into that. You don't have to sell them. The left, they're not paying any attention to the auto pen. The average person's just trying to get on with their life. The people that you do support, though, this was near and dear to their heart. This was a part of a campaign of several years talking about this. That's the issue.
And when push comes to shove, I think it'll be forgotten by the midterms. So much more is going to happen. And when you have people like AOC running, it doesn't matter anymore. You know what? I wish, but I like my economy. I like not being in wars, and I like having illegals not overrun this country. I am 100% voting Republican down the line.
No, I don't know who I'm voting for. Well, first of all, I always tell everybody, at the end of the day, when all is said and done and we go to vote next November, if things are good like that, the border is fine. I think they're going to have to find a better comprehensive way because I think, the same people that maybe Trump could be protecting whoever, those people are also big enough donors to go, hey, you're getting rid of all my farm workers and all of my people that work in my meat packing companies. I'm not quite sure I can have that. So don't be surprised about some of that stuff. But if all is well with the economy, man, the fucking world could be on fire. But if we're like, dude, I'm doing good, man. Right? Let's be real. If he solved all the wars and he exposed all the deep state or whatever he thinks is there, and he cured cancer, but fucking we're in the middle of a recession, his shit will be gone in 5 minutes. So are the Republicans.
If all of a sudden we're doing good economically and we've got the wars, we're not in a war, we're doing economically, and the majority of this country wants the illegal aliens gone, and that's on a good way towards it, you have a hard time beating him because you literally are having communists run on the other side. The mayor of New York is a communist.
Yeah, Mondani is. Well, here's the thing, though. Go look at him. He's
a communist.
But you know what? He took a huge freaking several pages from Trump's playbook. He talked economy. He talked middle class. He talked getting squeezed. It's like when those people go and they take Mein Kampf and they change a few words. It's the same thing.
But at the end of the day, the change, the Mein Kampf solution is to kill Jews. His solution is communism.
Well, and we know that's not going to. Well, you know what? I'm going to say this. I think if they held the election today, I think he wins.
Isn't that terrifying? They would vote in a commie.
I think he wins. But you know whose fault that is though? That's the power above who've got so much power that the little guy feels like they're getting squeezed out of everything. And you get to the point where you have so much and they look and they're going, hey, Bernie resonates with me that 8 people own 99% of everything in this country. And you're trying to convince me that the people that are poorer than me are the problem. I'm having an issue with that. And this guy, and the other thing is too, from what I'm hearing, he's meeting with the business elites and he's like, look, I'm not here to freaking hammer you guys. I'm not here to do any of this stuff. He's winning them over. And the Democrats are scared because they're all 106 and he knows how to Instagram shit and they don't. They don't even know how to or anything.
He knows how to really message to the little informed, uninformed, selfish mind. I'm going to make your life better and it's going to be at the cost of the others. He does more than Trump's playbook. It's Hitler's playbook. It's vilifying the other to make your life better. It's this group of people is why you're not succeeding in life. If I get rid of these rich guys, these evil people, then your life will be better. Oh yeah, they're the villains. I'm the hero and you're going to be my Batman.
Well, yeah, that's but that's his whole thing. The wealthy are saying, look, he is the worst person on earth and he's going to have everybody killed and you have no idea. And he's going to take our businesses away and you guys are all going to stand in a soup kitchen. It's the battle of what's the reality. The reality is you're not going to be able to do as much as you think. You're going to become mayor and you're going to find out.
No,
it's finite and you don't have as much power as you think and you're going to struggle. And so he has his biggest issue. Take away the communism thing because
it's a hard one to take away, but let's do it.
Well,
take away the Nazi thing, and we'll take away
the whole thing is his big issue is you're in New York and you scare the Jews.
He did scare the Jews.
You scare the Jews. That's a bigger issue to him and to them.
I hope it is because again, you have a giant Jewish sector over there.
Huge.
The stuff he did basically anti-Jew.
Yeah.
Is hopefully they're smart enough to see that and don't go, but I do like a little commie. Yeah. Want to vote for the communism and not realize.
Yeah, his comment is like, we want to freeze rents. But you're not going to freeze rents. And when you start to freeze rents, what you need
public transportation is free.
Yeah. Transportation is free anyways. Nobody pays for it. You ever see everybody just hops over everything on the bus. It's free. Yeah.
Well, because there's no, you don't have no laws. It's a Mad Max society, which is what New York is becoming, and LA. And there, there's how do you do it when you have a bunch of people that don't want to contribute to society but do want to take from it? How do you govern that population?
Well,
that's our biggest hurdle. And having these MAGA crazies caring about Epstein instead of caring about these real hurdles on our culture.
Yeah, but the MAGA crazies don't live in New York.
No, they don't.
See,
that's the problem.
They don't live in New York. They may live in upstate New York. They may live in Bakersfield, California. The people that support Trump, but they don't live. They may live in parts of Orange County and San Diego, but they don't live in San Francisco and LA.
Well, you got a lot in Huntington Beach, for example. Yeah. I would love to go to Huntington Beach, which is a MAGA stronghold, and see how many of them care about Epstein as opposed to seeing that finally illegal aliens aren't everywhere with a taco stand on every corner.
Here's the thing.
They literally had a taco stand on every corner. I used to drive by.
Well, let's be real, dude. I mean,
oh, they're good tacos. Don't get me wrong. I mean, look at me. I'm not saying, but it really was.
And when it comes to, and you ask most Californians, like, yeah, we want to get rid of the bad ones, but man, the dude up the street's awesome. He's my boy. It's like, we don't want to get rid of every one of them, but where's the common sense? And Trump is going to learn that because the latest polls are, hey, we thought it was going to be all the bad guys first and some other, the lady down the street that makes my freaking, my tamales for Christmas. I don't want her ass gone. She's good people. And this is where Trump could be transformational in a way that does something that
that's why Epstein's a plus for him, because that conversation is no longer happening. But those deportations are happening.
What are the deportation numbers?
That conversation. Look at they went to and the Democrats were whining because they went to the pot farm and deported people there and got all the little underage children workers.
How is that all? Like, there's no excuse for that.
Well, the Democrats supported it. How dare you? You're like, how dare you keep underage kids from work? We don't let our kids work, but just because they're Hispanic.
From working at a weed farm.
Yeah. Well, dude, they're basically Democrats want their slaves no matter what.
Summertime. This is how they choose to spend their summer.
This is their day. We told them it's camp. We told them it's camp.
They like getting baked.
We see. Look, we put a picture of a clown up. See, they're happy.
So let's see what the deportation numbers are.
Well,
yeah, I mean, how many people do you honestly think are here? I've always said to myself, it's like getting on the scale.
It's more than 20 million.
It's like getting on a scale, right? You're like, I'm 20 pounds overweight. Now, probably in your mind, if I got a scale, I'm fucking 45 pounds overweight, and I don't want to look at that. So you just go with, I'm 15, 20 pounds overweight. I've always said when it comes to the Democrats, if you guys really knew what the number is, you'd be like, oh shit, we can't allow that. Deportation numbers.
In the first 100 days, 135,000.
Is that good? I have no idea.
With 151,000 arrests.
So let's see here.
So that's not even scratching. If there's 20 million, we need this to ramp up in a huge way.
Do you think it's 20? I think it's about 20, maybe 20. 20, yeah, I'd say 20 to 25.
You know, if we were to deport all 20 million,
how many would you need a day?
According to AI, you would need. Oh, it doesn't want to answer that question.
Really?
Oh, there's another story about who, like, people whining about, I bet you the people on the island are also behind this kind of stuff.
Let's be real. AI has not acquitted itself well over the last couple of weeks. Doesn't matter who you're going to. Did you see Gronk got that new, was it Mecha Hitler got the new contract at the Pentagon? Just what you need, kids.
we need Mecha Hitler in charge of our thing. But also, did you see Gronk? Avatar is this kind of like hot anime chick.
No, I haven't seen that.
And because it's fully AI, people are basically starting relationships with it. There's a very good video of a guy.
That's you're on. So, are you ready for this? To get out over a 4-year period? You say?
Yeah.
14,000 a day.
Oh, okay. So we're doing about, I think it said an average since February of 14,000 a month. Is it a month?
No, it's probably a little bit more than that. Currently,
probably more than that.
Right now, under Obama, the highest ever deportation in a single year was almost 410,000, about 1,200 a day. Trump is averaging 1,100 to 1,300 a day.
So we need to up those numbers big time.
Yeah,
bigly.
We don't have, even with, if we took all of the money we had and put our resources to it, it would be a tough ask.
But if we took all the money we had, put it into robots that would then do it, we would have a bunch of
how'd that work out, bro?
Deportation bots everywhere. They would just be like, they'd be robots in paddy wagons. They'd just jump out, grab people.
Why I always think this is a bullshit thing is because if you're really serious about it, you send a letter to every business and say you have 60 days. If we find anybody employed with you that is here illegally, you will be fined X amount of dollars and, closed for 14 days.
They started it in some state. Arizona did that to a funny enough, a burrito shop. It was all run by a bunch of illegals. The owners were fined, and the shop was shut down. It was.
And then what happens is people will eventually go, because if you take away the resources, the money,
yep,
they're going to leave on their own.
And you tax remittance.
Yes.
That's a huge part of it because they all have families back home that they support. 70% of
Look at Grandpa.
illegals are Mexican and South American.
Look at Grandpa. How much money did Grandpa send home to Grandma?
Tons.
All the time. For you guys that
All
don't
the
know,
time.
our grandfather was born, but his dad, my grandfather, was born and raised in Mexico. So, but he would send money home all the time. He's an American citizen, but he would send money home all the time.
Yep. He became a citizen, naturalized American, but he was supporting his family.
Yeah.
If he couldn't have done that, well, he'd have found a way. He'd have went to back into Mexico to figure out a way, or he'd have just paid the taxes.
Yeah.
And then that's still a benefit for us. All of a sudden, if we get a big tax boom, so the nefarious actors will go away. The people who are just running taco stands and stuff will figure out a way around it. And there should be a path to citizenship for people that aren't causing any problems whatsoever.
No, I think you're here for 5 or 10 years and you got a little business, you got a wife, your kids born here, you've not caused any problems. You shouldn't be sent back. I'm sorry. You know what? They've built a life here, and we are part of the problem by allowing it to happen for so long. And for them to build a life here, we're part of the problem there. So we find that out. The issue is, and I always say this about California, you guys are doing everything you can to protect the people that you really want to protect. And in doing so, you end up protecting the bad people. And so they have no choice but to go find the lower hanging fruit of people that are just wanting to work.
Well, it's still bad. Like I said, if you're using child labor, that's still bad. But also, the Democrats are very much in favor, because their argument's always who's going to clean our toilets, who's going to pick our fruit. They're in favor of slave labor. There's no way around it. They feel like, hey, it's the great white savior coming to save you. Hey, aren't you happy? You get to work here cleaning dishes. You're welcome. You know what's terrifying? I'm the great white savior. Go clean my toilet.
That's right. And you're welcome.
And you're welcome. Aren't I a good moral person because I allowed you to stay in this country to pick up after me and to clean my underwear?
Yeah,
that's despicable. No one talks about that. They always talk about, oh, you evil conservatives that want to deport people. Really? Because I don't want to make them my slave labor.
No.
So I'm the evil one?
Yeah. And having worked with people that were here illegally, it's not like they pay them $1 an hour. They don't pay them $1 an hour. The thing is, if you get somebody and you got a crew, let's say you're a roofer, I can underbid you because I have a couple guys that maybe are here legally or Americans, and drive by a construction site. If you don't speak Spanish, good luck getting a job.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I'm paying them $20 an hour, $25 an hour, paying them cash. And you know what I don't have to do? I don't have to cover their insurance. I don't have to cover their taxes. I don't have to cover a vast majority of things where I can then unwind that out of a job and undercut people. And that's an issue right there. Now,
paying under the table.
Yeah.
I'm not taxed. You're not taxed.
Yeah. The problem is, my buddy who has a big roofing company out here, he goes, I'll tell you what, when ice stuff was going down, tried to hire a whole bunch of Americans. Nobody lasts a day.
Again, that's a testament on Americans.
Absolutely.
What is going on, people? Look at the civilization we built before this. Americans built all the Sears Tower, to go down the list. Everything was built by Americans. Eiffel Tower, all this stuff. What happened to us? Now it's hot, so we're not going to go out.
What happens to us is we send everybody to college, told them they don't ever have to do anything hard. Everything's going to come easy to them. We promise them the world. They can't even go in and get a regular job inside of an office. Have you seen the new thing? What's it called? The Gen Z stare,
no.
Where people will ask them a question and they'll think it's stupid and they just go like this.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. because they had the luxury of, that's a luxury, not having to answer, not having to be able to, you don't have to do anything because your parents going to bail you out or whatever. So there's no consequences. So you just go, I'm just going to sit here. Bricklayers on the Brooklyn Bridge, one dude could support a family and buy a little house, laying bricks.
Not anymore. You can't.
Not anymore, you can't. And you know why you can't? Because of illegals. Because guess what? Americans wouldn't do it for 20. They do it for 35.
No, they'd probably do it for 20, 25. They wouldn't. But then when you're taxed and everything, you're still walking. Because here's the thing. You might say, fine, okay, cool. I'm hiring all Americans. So I'm going to pay you $25 an hour. Okay, that's great. So you're getting $25 an hour. after taxes, after your insurance, all of a sudden you're down to like $15 an hour. You ain't freaking buying a house on that.
No,
No, you ain't
not
buying a house
anymore.
on that. No, not anymore. No.
But guess what? That's why there needs to be a revolution. America has a history of relying on slave labor for some things, and we need to get out of this pattern.
We've had some issues. There's
We
no
had
doubt
some
about that.
issues. Not just with also the Chinese. You know, our railroads were made on the backs of a bunch
Yeah,
of
nobody
dead
else talks
Chinese
about
people.
Chinese. I've seen Kung Fu. Man, that guy freaking worked across the country with his little flute, freaking building the railroad.
Exactly. America has a way of unfairly using labor.
Of taking and taking migrant labor. And
Yep.
same things. When the Irish landed here, it's like, all
Yep.
right, this is
Irish,
where
same
the
thing.
Italians, you're going to be on the docks. Everything is the labor you put in a shift, and this is what it is.
So
And
let's grow up and put our big boy pants on as America and go, guess what? Yeah, guess what? I'm going to have to pay more for the people to build my house. But we as a society are going to have that trade.
the problem, though, Paul, is when you go and look at the olden days compared to today. When you built that house in New York City in 1956, you know what I didn't have to do? I didn't have to spend $250,000 getting plans approved by 97 different people. I didn't have to wait 8 months to have somebody come over and say it's okay to fire up my water heater. I didn't have to pay this over here and that over here. It was easy to get stuff done, and it was still built pretty damn good.
Mom and dad's little home that still stands today, built over 100 years ago. Mom bought for $10,000
for 7 Doozelberries.
For 7 Doozelberries. It still stands through all the earthquakes.
Yeah.
It didn't have all this regulation. It was built literally by a husband and wife. They built it. That's how old it is. You know, it was built back when you didn't have 10 government agencies to do anything.
You didn't have a government agency, really.
You didn't have anything. They built a little home that stands to this day through all the earthquakes in California and everything. It has stood without a problem because the materials, everything, there's a lot of reasons. But the point is, you don't need all that. You don't need the regulation. You need some because you don't want cheap people building I just put bamboo and everything.
You want some regulation. What I don't need is 9 different agencies that overlap.
So I can put a fence around my yard.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, 9 agencies to put a fence?
I don't be able to coming over going, hey, you put up a tree house. That's against code. What code? Like, what do you, it's a tree. When we lost the plot by allowing bureaucracy to overrun everything. And now we're in a situation where and their excuses, aren't you glad it's not like Haiti where everything falls down in the wind? Yeah, but I didn't expect that because 120 years ago, these houses all stood here. And guess what? They didn't have 93 inspectors.
Well, it's even little things like we had fix a plumbing issue.
Yeah.
I can't, you got to call the city out for the rest of that because you're like, but you could literally run the snake or whatever through that pipe. Yeah, but that's city pipe. So the city has to run the snake through that pipe. It's like, so I got to wait. So I can get a plumber to do half the job and the city has to do the other half of the job. We don't need all that. It's like I said, if America stays focused and MAGA stays focused on the real things that we need to push this country forward, I think that at the end of 4 years, this country is going to be in an amazingly better place. If it gets distracted by rhetoric, we're going to stall out what could be a giant step forward for our society.
So, I don't think this goes back to too many people give Trump and their political parties way too much power when the reality, it's still all about the Americans. It's about us. If Kamala would have won, America would have survived. We'd have been okay. Trump's going to win. As I tell my friends on the left, America's going to survive. We're going to be okay. And some people, there's some stuff that they may not like. Don't overthink it. At the end of the day, it's always about us. Okay, here, you ready for this? Okay, I've got hold up. Don't die on me. Average home price in 1956, $11,000. Average in today's world, about $450,000. This is nationwide. So The build, though, is incredible. Labor costs extremely low, virtually no regulations. In today's money, and it's much smaller. So the average home size was about 12 to 1,500 feet compared to about 2,300 feet now. So it's different. And they were more efficient. They're more efficient now. The reality, though, the labor cost is higher, but the zoning, energy codes, and environmental checks are so big that the cost adjusted for inflation is almost 4 times to build a home in today's world.
It's insane.
And it has nothing. That's where AI, I think, will play a huge role in California, being able to go in and get stuff pulled in one day through AI would be huge.
Well, but also, we need to have it. And trust me, I like this, but my parents bought that home for $10,000. It's worth around $1 million now. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
In all sense of purpose, it's a California, but it is. You know what I mean? Like you go, well, that's going to be about $1 million. Like, but it's not. It shouldn't ever be close to that. It's tiny little $10,000 home.
It's a freaking look. $1 million home when I was a kid was fucking silver spoons. Okay, right? There was a freaking train running through it. We had a butler. $1 million home.
You had a door opened by remote control.
It's a lean-to.
Yeah, California's insane. It's like, wait, that's $1 million home. You can't again, it's hard to live in a society like that too. I can't be just have a regular job and buy that home.
No shit. I mean,
it's horrible.
Think about what like you and Karma are thinking about buying a house, and you're looking around, you're like, you tell me, it's like, I can't pay $10,000 a month for a mortgage. I just find that absurd.
Well, we literally walked into a home. It was nothing special. So when I tell you this price, people go, wow, you walked into a mansion. No, we walked in a home. It was nice. It was in a good neighborhood. $3.4 million for a 2-bedroom, I think it was 2-bedroom, 3-bath home. Nice. Don't get me wrong. It was really nice kitchen. Everything was nice, but that's insane. It wasn't giant. It wasn't like it's 5,000 square feet or something crazy. It was probably in the Midwest. It's a $300,000 home. I have no idea how much.
It's not like you had a slide from your bed. It's not your Scrooge McDuck. You had a slide from your bedroom to your gold palace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was just your regular type of home, just was nicely done. That's crazy. It's like 3.4. That's
insane. What was that?
But it's in a good neighborhood, and that's sad too, because you're like, oh, part of that price is I don't have to worry about carjackings or any break-ins or anything like that. So it also increases the price. Which is,
but the whole thought of it's like, your home. This should be the quickest way to wealth. You build up through your home. Can you wrap something, in your mind, wrap around the fact that who's going to buy this from me if I want to sell it in 5 years for $4.5 to $5 million?
Exactly.
At what point do you go, who can even afford? What do you do? Do you want to look at something? What do you do? Do you deal drugs? What do you do?
What is that income statement that you can afford it? And usually it's people that are just buying up. They buy a smaller house, they sell it, buy a bigger house, they sell it, buy a bigger house. That's still not your average person. Your average, like, because even the real estate agencies, so we need to sell, sell your homes to get this. You just said home with an S. One, most people don't have that. And two, it's like, that's what you say because it's so common.
Yeah.
The people are selling homes to get to the next home.
You need to put down $5.5 million to forward your $3 million home.
Exactly. And honestly, at our age, we're never paying this off, and you know it. That's going to be like a 100-year mortgage.
That is so crazy.
And yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, well, let's get that lean-to for $1 million, and with the porta potty. That's our special thing. We got a lean-to down by the river. If you stand
on your tippy toes on a ladder on top of the roof with binoculars, you can almost see the mountain, and over the mountain is the ocean.
Exactly. And a selling point is the riots, they usually stop only a block away. So you never have a lot of...
That is insane, dude. Insane. All right. So we had fun tonight, as always, argued about stuff as good times.
As always.
We'll do it again tomorrow. Did you see? Oh, real quick before everybody leaves, did you see what Coca-Cola is going to do?
No.
Cane sugar. They're going to do Mexican cola.
So that's the one import thing from Mexico I love.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
If anybody has a chance to try a Mexican cola, it is better.
It is better.
It just uses real sugar, cane sugar, like the old days. It's better.
Yeah, it is better. And cocaine. They have a lot of cocaine.
It's cocaine. Well, the cartels jump in a little bit, so it's cocaine.
Cartel of cola.
But that's fantastic.
Yeah, so they announced that.
All right.
All right, guys, we're going to have a good one. You guys have a good night. We'll do it again tomorrow. Check out my radio show, 6 to 9 Pacific, 9 to noon on the East Coast, and go to ChadBensonShow.com. Find out all of our